Hello and welcome back to my true crime channel. Today I'm going to be looking into the very mysterious disappearance of Prisma Reyes. Prisma is a 26-year-old woman from Texas in America, and she went missing under very mysterious circumstances in 2019. On the 17th of April 2019, Prisma was supposed to pick up her son at approximately 7:30 p.m. from the babysitter. When she doesn't show up, this is when she is first reported missing by the babysitter to her family. Her family then alert the authorities. Now, the reason I wanted to cover this case, it's not very well known in the UK that I'm aware of. I've had to sort of search quite a lot to get more information on it. But it's the mysterious circumstances of the day of Prisma's disappearance that have made me so interested in this case. On the day of her disappearance, she goes to work as normal. At midday, she leaves work for her lunch break, which would normally have been about an hour. After an hour, she doesn't return to work. But while she's not at work, what she is doing, she's gone to a restaurant to meet an ex-partner who she's rekindled a romance with. I believe he wasn't the nicest of people from what her family and friends said, and she'd gone to meet him for lunch. Now, during this lunch break, she does ring the babysitter. She goes outside to make a phone call just to make sure the kids are all right, or that, everything's fine. I think everything was fine, but the ex-partner or the on-off horrible boyfriend wasn't very happy that she'd gone out to make the call. They have a bit of a disagreement, and after an hour of eating together, he leaves the restaurant. Prisma is then left at the restaurant by herself. Now, Prisma doesn't leave the restaurant after the partner or man she'd met had left. She stays for another 3 hours drinking. I think she becomes quite loud and animated after the 3 hours, and unfortunately, the bartender asked her to leave. Now, it's the next bit of events that is all a bit sketchy and a bit strange. She's then involved later that night in a road rage incident with some other women in a car. The police are called to the incident, but by the time the police arrive, Prisma has fled in her car. Later that night, Prisma travels to an apartment complex in Dallas, in Texas, where the man she'd met for lunch, her ex-partner, lives. Now, apparently he wasn't home. She's seen by another person that lives in the apartment complex rushing into the lift, and there's CCTV footage of her trying to rush into the lift, and before she gets in the lift and the lift arrives, she's seen to sort of be acting a bit strange, swaying a bit in the CCTV, which would lead you to believe she's a bit drunk. She had been drinking at the restaurant for at least 4 hours, from what I can gather, so it's not surprising that she seems a little bit drunk in the CCTV footage. Now, the person that shared the lift with Prisma said that she doesn't know what lift floor or floor she got out of the lift on, sorry. Prisma's dad has confirmed it was the 5th floor. The person she's in the lift with obviously doesn't get out on the same floor as her, but said that she was upset about something and that they weren't aware who she was coming to visit. She's later then seen on, I think it's the top of a building somewhere in Texas, having a row with somebody on a phone with the boot of her car up, and she's looking in the boot of the car, or as you American people say, the trunk of the car. Whether she's having a row with the ex-boyfriend she'd met for lunch, I don't know. And I think maybe the car is parked on top of a building because it was a car park. It might have been for the apartment complex that she'd just been to visit. Again, strange. She's having a row with someone. Who was she having the row with? Was it the boyfriend? We're not sure. Now, I don't believe there are any other witness spottings of Prisma, apart from the last time she's seen having a row with somebody on the phone where she stood by her car with the car boot up. I don't know if she was looking in the boot. I'm not sure why the boot was up. After that, there are no more witness reports of her on April the 17th, 2019. And then on April the 18th, 2019, the next day, her Jeep is found abandoned not too far away. Now, sadly, I don't think the police were able to glean much DNA evidence from the abandoned Jeep, or, I don't think they were able to get any real hard evidence on where she'd gone or what had happened. They obviously look into the ex-boyfriend, but after he leaves the restaurant, after they've been together for an hour, he goes to a different state and visits friends, and his alibi completely checked out. Therefore, he was innocent and he was let go. What that then means in this case is it's quite a mystery, because if it wasn't her ex-boyfriend or the man she was meeting for lunch that day that she'd gone to the apartment to visit, that she was maybe having the row on the phone with, who was it? Where did she go? Now, from what friends and family have said, the father of her son wasn't this man that she'd been seeing that day. It's a different man, and he didn't have much to do with the son at all. He wasn't a very good dad, and once Prisma goes missing, he's suddenly very interested in having custody of the son, even though the family would have done that, would have took on the little boy if Prisma was to never come home or be found. But suddenly he's interested in having custody. That's a bit weird. So there are quite a few theories about this case. Could Prisma have left, gone off to have a brilliant new life somewhere, didn't want to be around her friends and family anymore, wanted a new life, didn't want to be around her son? Something had gone wrong with a partner that had made that happen. Could she have gone off to take her own life? Has she been murdered or abducted? Why was she murdered or abducted if she was? Could it be that her ex-partner wasn't able to see the son and there was a bit of bad blood between them and he wanted to take on custody of the son and he killed Prisma, the mother? Is that what happened? There are so many theories as to what could have happened here, and because she's never seen again apart from the sighting of her next to her Jeep on the phone, it's a real mystery, and it sort of reminds me a little bit of the Maura Murray missing persons case in America where she disappears on the motorway and is never seen again. Very weird case. I wish I could say that I have a definite opinion on what happened to Prisma. Personally, because she was drunk, it's hard to know what she was doing. But if you were drunk, would you really disappear off the face of the earth and start a new life somewhere? Surely, if you're going to do that, or you've been planning on doing it, or even if it's a last minute decision, you'd do it in a sound mind, not a drunk mind. So I'm not sure that I buy that. Personally, I think she may have come to harm. I don't know whether it could have been the father of her son that had caused the harm. I honestly don't know. Hopefully she hasn't come to harm, and hopefully one day she'll be found. Now, you know, this has been quite a while, a couple of years now since this has happened. It must be really hard on her family and her little boy. Wouldn't it be fantastic if Prisma could be found? So if you know anything about this case, guys, especially people that might be watching in America, please get in contact with the authorities. I'm sure you could make an anonymous comment or get in contact with the police. If you have an equivalent to Crime Stoppers, an organisation we have here in the UK that you can ring and make anonymous reports about crimes, that would be great. It would be so good if this family could have some closure and find out what really happened to Prisma.